What's up, y'all? How y'all doing? It's your boy Featherstone. Welcome to the Featherstone Show. Today on the Featherstone Show, I got the poetic Bri.
Hey, how you guys doing?
How you doing? First off, I just want to say thank you for being here today. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I just had a birthday, so I'm in that like birthday bliss for the whole season.
Okay, happy birthday. How old are you?
27.
27. Okay, happy birthday. So where you originally from?
I moved around a lot. So I originally say like I'm a Valley girl because I moved around the Valley a lot. But I also lived in Elk Grove for high school, which is in Northern California. And then I went to college at Dominguez Hill. So like I move around a lot, but I'm like a Valley girl, I say through and through.
Okay. So how long you been doing poetry?
I've been writing for years. I think my first poem was like in middle school when I was like kind of forced to do it for like an assignment. But I did stuff like that before I knew that that's what it was. So like I had this assignment, I was like, I don't want to do this as homework, but I was like, oh, I do this all the time. And then in high school I wrote, but I didn't actually start like writing to perform my poetry until college. So I'd say about like 4.5 years about like actually writing to perform and actually be like a spoken word artist.
Okay. So who's your inspiration for writing?
Ooh, I have a lot of them. For writing, I would have to say, kind of like because of her short approach, I like Gwendolyn Brooks. She's a great poet. I also like Langston Hughes, and I like a lot of like written poets are different because I'm kind of like a stage poet as opposed to a page poet. But I am in the process of writing a book, so I'm learning a lot more about like poets who have like written poetry books. So I'm like learning from that aspect because normally I'm like, oh, who's the best performer, who's the great slam poet, and I'm like I have a whole different list of people for that. But for written poets, I would say I'm really studying like the old school greats. So yeah.
Would you describe your poetry as being like kind of dark, or how would you explain it? Kind of light and fun, or
actually a little bit of both. I kind of talk about like heavy topics that might be considered dark, but I talk about them in a very lighthearted way. So, for example, one of my poems was about. Can I cuss on here?
Yeah.
Okay. One of my poems is called like "Evolution of a Fuckboy." So I was talking about like women who are dealing with like this mass amount of fuckboys in the world, and then it just kind of like turned into like a upbeat poem. But I was really like I was talking some shit. I was like really saying something that's like plaguing a lot of women in this like. In the world, period. So I talk about heavier topics. I also have a lot of poems about like racial issues and stuff like that. So I talk about heavy topics, but I like add a lot of humor to my poems. So because of all the humor, it kind of lightens it up, but it is like I'm saying real shit too.
Okay, all right. So what was it like when you first time you performed on a stage?
Oh my God, I was so nervous. Shout out to King Q and Patio Poetry, because that's what Patio Poetry was. But that was like the first time I actually performed in front of like a live, real audience. And I was like, oh my God, I was part of the slam poetry team at Dominguez Hills called Flow. Okay. So I was in Flow, and then we had to do it because we were getting ready to go like compete. So we're like, we have to perform in front of people at some point. And I was so nervous. I couldn't, like, I was shaking, and I couldn't really, like, breathe. I was going super duper fast. People who remember me from that time, I'm sorry. But it actually, it went really, really well, considering everything. But I was really nervous, so, and that doesn't really go away. I'm always, like, nervous, but I try to, like, hide it in a casually calm way. But I was always, like, super nervous.
Okay, What struggling experiences have you had as being a poet?
Oh, like where have I struggled? I think kind of getting over my writer's block, because sometimes I have to like go through something in order to like. I have to like go through something and then get through it in order to write about it. But sometimes if I'm going through something consistently, it's hard to write about what I'm currently going through. So yeah, I don't have like I'm still working on getting over my writer's block, but some advice that I got was you don't have writer's block, you have reader's block. And the more you read, you can get inspired by other people. So that was like the hardest thing I had to struggle with, like getting over that and just writing no matter what. But since I'm like writing this book, I have like, it's part of my homework to like really get over that.
Okay, and what's the name of this book?
I'm actually still working on a title. My working title right now is like Briannafull, because that's kind of like my stage name, like a self-titled kind of thing. But then, I don't know. I think it should be something a little bit more like specific to me, but not my name. You know, something that can probably be more like talk about a whole lot of people and not just me. So I'm working on a couple of them.
How many years would you say it took you to master your craft, or would you say you've mastered your craft?
I don't think I've mastered it. I'm not like a amateur or anything like that too. I have some experience, but I would kind of say I'm like, what's above novice, but not quite in the middle. But
it's not a rookie. It's not a
rookie.
Rookies is like a beginner.
Yeah, I feel like rookie's right in the middle, or I feel like it's amateur, rookie, novice, and then something, and then like master. So I feel like I'm in that like something. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What's your favorite poem of all time?
Of all time? Does it have to be mine? Like my own poem? Any poem?
It could be yours.
Nah, I'm too insecure about my work to be like, it's one of my poems. One of my favorite poems of all time, I would say This Type by Shihan.
Okay.
Or no, not This Type, Type Love. Type Love. And he's talking about like what he experienced, or what the type of love he wants to experience. And like that was like my first introduction to like slam poetry, and I was like, oh my god, it's the best. So yeah, Type Love by Shihan. He was like the host of DPL for the longest, and they just opened up, so I'm gonna try to go over there and get another sighting of him. But he's a phenomenal poet too. So
what advice would you give up and coming poets?
Up and coming poets, be authentic. Talk your shit. Say what it is you actually feel, and don't worry about what other people are going to say about what it is that you have to do. Just as long as it's true to you and you're writing to get it off of your chest and maybe touch somebody with your words, you're on the right track. That's what I think.
Okay. At the stage you are in at right now, what goals do you have of being a poet?
Finish this book in a timely fashion. Kind of not put so much pressure on myself too. Like I definitely need the pressure in order to like get something done, but I can kind of find myself being a perfectionist and over obsessing with something. So like kind of getting through it, but not like straining through it. Like, no, we have to get it perfect. Like just kind of letting things flow. But basically.
How do you feel about poetry nowadays? Do you feel like it was better writers back in the day, or do you feel like we have a lot of great writers today that are kind of underrated?
I think a little bit of both. I feel like there's some people back in the day who, like, their words were for a particular time that I don't feel like we're in anymore. So I feel like we have a lot of great poets now who are like saying some things, but I do also feel like on the flip side of that, there are people who are just out there making noise, and you're just like, okay, yeah, you're just talking, you're not like speaking, or you're not trying to say anything. Like, what are you really saying at the end of the day? So but on the flip, like, I know there are people who are really saying some real shit out here, who are like really going for it. So I kind of feel like both, but I do feel like there are a lot of great writers.
Okay. Do you do anything besides write?
Yeah, I actually started a business, like event production. So I used to be a computer science major before everything was said and done, and then I switched over and became a theater major like halfway through. So because of that, like live performance and that whole like aspect of making something live come together is kind of like an underlying passion of mine. But I also help people put together like regular everyday things like birthday parties or, you know, baby showers and things like that, because I like helping people put things together. Okay. But especially with artists, like my biggest events have been like artist showcase and like poetry showcases. So just kind of showcasing people's talent and what people can do, like bringing people together who are like all dope and then having us all work together, because I feel like we have to work like across, not always like finding somebody we can pull up and help me up. It's like we could all help each other up because we're all the same thing. Yeah.
Well, that was the Featherstone Show. Thank you so much for being here, Bri. Right?
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here, Bri. What we like to do at the end of the show, we usually let artists perform and whatnot. So can we get a poem from you?
Sure.
Okay. Y'all stay tuned. Featherstone Show.
Get to know me. Not because I'm attractive, nor because my vernacular is alluring, but because I'm dope as fuck. I'm the dope you always needed but didn't know till right now. When my dope walks into the room, you might want to do that weird, intimidated thing like my dopeness hasn't arrived, but why? That's just gonna make my dopeness shine. I'm so dope, just one conversation will have you feeling full. I'm no longer the exception, I fucking rule. Like a queen bee, but I'm not cruel. I am the matador, and I'm the bull. I walk on toilet paper because I'm the shit. That's how dope I am. I don't care if you agree with me or not, because that's how dope I am. Standing out because I'm outstanding. My dopeness is like a UFO that doesn't plan on landing. I'm apart from the people, but I'm also part of the crowd. It's like you notice I'm there, but not because I'm loud. It's because I'm quiet. I quietly, unassumingly slip into your subconscious, abducting your attention, making you focus on nothing else but me. All eyes on me, but I'm not Pac though. My 22 caliber is unmatched and untouched. It shoots me to higher levels, hops in the whip, gassing me up. See, attempting to dim my shine will leave this place dark and gray. That's how dope I am. Hi, nice to meet you, but you don't know what to say. That's how dope I am. My dope is like reaching for a check that's already been paid, being past the blunt after you had a good day, favorite songs on the drive back and you just let them play, coming up to me after this piece just to say hey. You can't get my dope because it can't be bought. You can't learn my dope because it can't be taught. My dopeness is love, my dopeness is strength, my dopeness is smart, and my dopeness is dank. I got my dope and you got yours. Don't try to bite off mine, it's not an hors d'oeuvre. My dope is named after Kendrick's last album. My dope is so damn awesome. In a world full of opinions, my dope is facts. My dope sets the destination, navigates, and then brings you back. My dope is spitting bars, but not trying to boast. My dope so hot when I eat bread, I shit toast. My dope is now all you can think about because it exudes confidence, intrigue, and a little bit of pizzazz. So in case y'all forgot, that's how dope I am. Thank you.
Thank you so much, y'all. That was the Featherstone Show. Make sure you tune in, like, and subscribe, and make sure to keep an eye out for her book that's coming out. Thank y'all so much. It's Featherstone Show. We out.